Thank you, Jim. I am pleased to bring greetings of friendship and solidarity from the Canadian Teachers Federation and from 200,000 teachers from across Canada. Il me fait un grand plaisir de vous saluer du nom des quelques 200 000 membres de la profession enseignante au Canada. J'aimerais remercier Sylvie Lichtler, la présidente de la SEPF, pour sa précieuse collaboration à nos réunions nationales. Félicitations pour ta réélection, Sylvie. And I want to thank Sylvie for sitting at our table at CTF over the past few years. I'm too short, right? And I do want to extend thank you for your kind invitation to speak today at your annual general meeting. But this isn't my first time with you at BCTF. When I was president of the New Brunswick Teachers Federation, co-president of the New Brunswick Teachers Federation, and president of the New Brunswick Teachers Association, because in New Brunswick, of course, we do things a little differently. We have a Francophone Association, an Anglophone Association, and together we are the union. And in 2012, I came to Victoria and I marched with you on your legislature when you were going through contract negotiations then. And I didn't do that because you were members of CTF, because at that time you were not. I did that because it is my strong belief that as teachers, we need to stand together, because what comes to one province or territory is not far behind in the others. Teachers understand teachers, especially in this age of government austerity. What I have learned in my time as CTF president is that coast to coast to coast, teachers and teacher unions are facing the same opposition. And if we ever hope to effect any positive outcomes for teachers and students, we have to stick together. It's what I felt in 2012, and I feel it even more strongly today. Yes, there's an attack on labor, but let's face it, education is under attack. Teachers are under attack. We see the results of underfunding, especially in the area of services to students with special needs. And when a teacher has to wear a Kevlar sleeve for protection, there's a concern. The teacher voice must be heard, and there is strength in numbers. But I do want to thank Jim Eicher. As an executive director once told me, presidents are right for their time. We elect the right president for the right time. And I think you'll agree with me when I say that Jim Eicher was right for BCTF. I've enjoyed every discussion with Jim that I've had over the past few months, and really some of them have been quite frank. But we've had difficult, uncomfortable conversations while still being very respectful. I wish you all the best in your deliberations here today. We would welcome the full, active participation of BC teachers once again at the CTF table. Three presidents who are also CTF, or two presidents who are CTF vice presidents, Mark Ramsanker and Norm Gould, are here with me today, and Sam Hammond, who is the president of the Ontario Elementary Teachers Federation of Ontario. And we would welcome any questions you may have through the day. I want to share with you 3 questions that I believe are relevant to us as teachers and teacher unions in Canada. Number 1, what are the global challenges we face as education unions? Number 2, what are the national challenges we face as educators? And number 3, how does and can the Canadian Teachers Federation make a difference? On the global front, Education International, which represents over 32 million educators in 402 unions worldwide, and of which CTF is a member, has identified the privatization and commercialization of public education as an important issue for teacher organizations in Canada and around the world. But really, how does that affect us here in Canada? Pearson and other edu-businesses run low fee-for-profit schools in other parts of the world. But our children don't pay fees to go to school here in Canada, right? Pasi Sahlberg has coined the term GERM, the Global Education Reform Movement. Proponents of GERM state that public schools are failing our children, and they use the results on standardized tests. Please know my eye roll here, standardized tests. They use that as proof. Once the premise of failing public schools takes hold, then GERM proponents, those edu-businesses, just happen to have the solution to the problem that they've generated. In this time of austerity government budgeting, many schools and districts are being directed to reduce budgets by as much as 30%. They're being asked to do more with less. Malheureusement, le Canada n'a pas échappé au mouvement de privatisation de l'éducation. Privatization in and of education has manifested itself in various ways and to varying degrees across Canada. And here are some examples. Public funding for private schools. Public-private partnerships, P3s for school construction and operation. School fundraising. After Christmas, there was a school in Gatineau, Quebec, trying to raise $20,000 through chocolate bar sales to buy desks and chairs. Power School, collecting, storing, and processing student and teacher data. Large-scale standardized testing programs are used to rank schools, and then private corporations market packaged assessment solutions. And more recently, the Trans-Pacific Partnership Agreement poses a serious threat to education because there is no explicit exclusion of education in the agreement. CTF, the Canadian Association of University Teachers, COT, and the Centrale des syndicats du Québec, CSQ, wrote to the Minister of International Trade expressing our concerns about the TPP. CTF staff has met with federal officials, including those in the Ministry of International Trade under Minister Chrystia Freeland, and we continue our public advocacy on this front. There are other pressing issues Canadian teachers have told CTF that we must address. Merci. Une autre question pressante qui touche nos écoles aujourd'hui est la santé mentale des élèves. Across Canada, educators have told us that student mental health is their number one concern, and they've emphasized that schools need to have more community support and additional resources to help students facing challenges. But let's be frank, mental health challenges also affect teachers. The results of our 2014 National Survey on Work-Life Balance, to which 8,000 teachers responded, told us 8 in 10 teachers, 80%, believed their stress related to work-life and balance has increased over the past 5 years. When asked about the sources of stress, 95% of teachers said it was the inability to devote as much time as they would like to each of their students. But it's interesting to note that this lack of time is a cross-cutting theme of several of the stressors identified by teachers. Outside of school, most teachers reported they experienced stress related to having insufficient time to spend with their own children, spouse or partner, for caregiving for family and friends in need, or for recreational pursuits. The 4 top school-based priority areas that teachers listed that would improve their work-life balance and which would enable them to become a more effective teacher were reduced class sizes, improve support for children with special educational needs, increase the time available for planning and preparation, and reduce non-teaching demands, administrative tasks, paperwork, etc., etc. While the tasks teachers carry out in schools every day, such as marking, planning, and tracking student progress, are essential parts of our jobs, the culprit is in the volume and the sheer number of changes in the system. And I have to tell you, I was in a school until June of 2015. I was a teaching principal because in New Brunswick, principals are still part of the union. But my day was 50% teaching. I was 20% the resource teacher and 30% principal. So I was in a small rural school. So when I speak from the view of being a teacher. I remember well. In addition, teachers and other education personnel have taken on the duties of frontline triage with students who are suffering the effects of poverty, food insecurity, family stress and addictions, and mental health concerns, to just name a few. Tout cela peut mener à l'épuisement professionnel et la détresse psychique. All of these factors may lead to teacher burnout and mental distress. And those are the main reasons why mental health in schools is the theme of the Canadian Forum on Public Education that will take place in Montreal, July 11th and 12th, 2016. The forum is open to all teachers, students, school administrators, school board representatives, ministries of education, political leaders, and researchers. All of these voices need to be heard at the table. Nous espérons que vous serez de nôtres à cet événement national important. We hope you would consider attending this national forum. But finally, how can the Canadian teachers make a difference? We strive to make a difference through our research and programs specifically geared for teachers and students. Our social justice program, called Imagine Action, puts students as leaders of change in their own communities, thanks to funding and resources to carry out projects or activities. Of course, teachers play an important role in helping to identify and proceed with these projects. Our new online resource, Speak Truth to Power Canada, brings human rights education to life in the classroom through lesson plans and activities based on the profiles of 12 Canadian human rights champions. And this was just launched. Speak Truth to Power Canada was launched in July of 2015, and it is an organic resource. It keeps being added to. But you go into Imagine Action Canada, and it is publicly available, and it contains lesson plans and possible activities that you can use in your classrooms for human rights, and it gives real Canadian examples. Our 54-year-old project overseas has reached the highest number of participants per year, thanks to our member organizations' contributions and participation. This program allows Canadian teachers to volunteer and work with colleagues in developing countries during the summer. This year, 57 teachers are involved in 13 missions in Africa and the Caribbean. And all of these programs and those offered by your own organization help make a difference. And in closing, I invite you to become active in your own organization by joining committees, standing for election, and simply making your voice heard at this annual meeting. I have heard over the past few years that unions are not democratic organizations, and I'd like to challenge anyone who's ever been in a teacher organization, AGM such as this one, to come and then tell me that, because I know that democracy is alive and well and invited. As president of the CTF and on behalf of the entire board of directors and the staff of CTF, I want to reiterate how much we would welcome your return to our national organization. Together, at that CTF board table, we can do great things to protect and promote publicly funded public education and the teaching profession from coast to coast to coast. More importantly, take care of yourself, take care of others, and take care of our profession. Prenez soin de vous, des autres, et de notre profession. Thank you very much for the invitation.